Hi there, Mark here, and welcome to another episode of the CL500 vlog. I was recently asked a couple of times about spec on these cars, so I just thought I'd show a few of the options which are on my particular car. And if you're looking to buy one, these are the kind of things which would be the difference between standard features and ones which someone would have paid for to have as an upgrade at the time the car was bought new. Sorry about the fact I'm squinting into the camera, despite the fact it's like the 10th of January or something here in Spain. It's been pretty stormy this week, but at the moment the sun is shining and there's nowhere to hide from it. So anyway, let's show you a few of the things on the car, and then if you're looking for one, you'll be able to tell if these would have been an option or something which would, be standard in the car. It sounds like you're kind of splitting hairs on things like that, because these cars were pretty highly spec'd. But, occasionally I've seen these cars advertised where people make a big thing about the options, but in fact they are standard things. So let's just have a look at a couple of those and see if that helps you. So one of the options was keyless go, and that basically means that the button in the top of the gear lever here, you push that down and it started the car and stopped it. If you've got a completely covered leather gear knob on the car, then obviously that won't have that feature there. One of the things I did notice on a lot of these cars that do have these stop start features into this keyless go system, they don't always say stop and start on the top of the knob there. So I didn't know, I saw this one in the codes that it had that, but it didn't look obvious because it didn't say stop or start, but some of them do, and I have seen some cars that have just got a plain kind of chrome finish on the top there. So that's one of the things these cars have. But on this model, which is a 2000 model year, you needed something which was like a credit card for the sensors in the car to be able to identify that, and you had to have the card on you to be able to use the keyless entry system. So you come up to the doors and you push the little button, which we'll have a look at in a second, and then the keyless go system. So it has to recognize all that is in the car. Okay, so the little function button that allows you to walk up to the car and open it when you've got the key system engaged is this little thing here which pops in, little switch like that, and you can just squeeze that and open the door. But I actually don't have the key card. It obviously got lost somewhere along the way with one of the previous owners, and I think it's probably one of those things that's a couple of £100 to replace, so I'm not using the keyless go at the moment. But a friend of mine who's recently bought one of the F-type Jags, he's got that system on his car, and we were talking about it, and he said, you need the key on you for the car to kind of recognize that you're entering, and you've got to do something with the key. And we were saying that really it's a great idea, but you might as well just put the key in the ignition, because you've got to put it somewhere. It's going to be in your pocket, or you've got to put it somewhere in the car anyway. So that's how that system works anyway. So you've got that little button there. One of the other things is the cruise control with the radar cruise element on it, the Distronic function. So this is the standard cruise control lever, and it's got a limiter built in. So whatever speed that you're going at, you can actually tell the car not to go past that. So basically you kind of push that in to set it, and then you can change the speed and tell the car what point you want that set at, and also that just acts as the normal cruise control, so you can just flick that up and it will go into cruise. The difference with the Distronic element is that the sensor's built into the front of the car, and in the center console here you also get this thing here which can change the distance at what point it starts to activate, so you can get further or nearer away. And there's also something which can disable the sound if you want it to actually kind of give a beeping noise. The cruise control on this is playing up at the moment. In some respects I wish it just had standard cruise control, to be honest, because the thing about the Distronic on the early cars, I think the later cars are a lot better, it was quite lazy. And what I mean by that is that, say you approach a vehicle and it starts to pick that up ahead of you, it puts the brakes on, and it depends on your speed of approach, it can do that quite quickly. So, you know, it feels like the car's braking quite hard. But then, you know, if you're just going around a bend, or there's a truck in front of you on a motorway and you're kind of, you know, going around a radiused curve and it sees that ahead of you, it can't differentiate with the fact that you're turning. So what happens is you are basically slowed down anyway. And if you're in an outside lane, it takes a while for it to recover. So it's actually quite annoying because it kind of slows you down pretty quickly. And then it takes quite a while to kind of get back into the mode where it starts speeding you up again. And I find myself, when that happens, just flicking it off. I literally just disable it and then just use the accelerator. And then when I'm on a clear stretch of road, I just flick it back on. So from the point of view of kind of cruising, you know, obviously cruise control is quite a useful tool. If you've seen any of my videos where I go across Europe, you know, I'm doing long distances. I'm in the car for like 6 or 7 hours at a time. So it's obviously good to have the cruise control. But I do find that element of the distance radar thing a little bit annoying, to be honest. And at the moment it keeps kind of turning itself off, and it's saying that the Distronic sensor needs cleaning, which, you know, I don't know what it thinks it's, you know, what its problem is, because it's clean. So there's obviously a malfunction somewhere in that. But anyway, that's just something to bear in mind. So to tell the difference between them, you've got that system in the middle there. Okay, another thing to look at is the heated and cooled seats. On the cars that have just got the heated seats, there's just one option, which is this one for the heating, and it's basically got two buttons, two LEDs, and it's on 2 or 1, depending on how hot you want the seat. On the cars with the fan cooled seats, you've got another option there, and there's 3 at the back here. If I put my key in the ignition, I'll be able to show you a bit better. Should have done that first, really, shouldn't I? And this is another thing that the cars have as standard, the moving steering wheel, and that is on a little lever down here, which I'll look at in a second. So if I turn the ignition on, if I want the heated seats, I push the front one, and that's on rapid heat, and it does get pretty warm pretty quickly. And then you can select that, or it goes off after a couple of minutes of the dual heat. Turn the aircon off. Or you've got the fan cooling, which is on 3, and that can be a bit disconcerting when you first use it, because behind me, down here in the footwell and the back of the car here is the vent system for that, and you can hear the fans blowing the air through. So it adds a little bit of noise, but I suppose the air's got to go somewhere. So you've got a 3-stage cooling. You can go to 2 or to 1, and that's the fan speed. And it does make a little bit of difference. You know, in the hot weather here in the summer, when it's in the 40s, that actually does make quite a little bit of difference. So one of the other things that these cars all have as standard, when you take the key out of the ignition, you can program the wheel to go to a set point or back up to its kind of neutral position to allow you to get out. So if I turn the ignition off and take the key out, you can see the wheel there basically moves. I think, let's put the key back in and you'll be able to see that. Okay, and that can be set up just by having this flicked on to, let's try and find a way the camera can find that. It's not a very easy thing to see actually with this little thing, but basically you've got the thing set up like that, and you program it with the memory function on the door switch pack there. That's all standard, the memory positions. Okay, another thing that was an option on this car is the massage seats system there. So you basically you can turn it on with the pulse button there, and what it does is it puts air into the chambers on the back of the seat rest there and moves them up and down and pushes them in and out. And you know, it's quite nice on a long journey, just to sort of keep the blood circulating around a bit. And you know, you can control the other lumbar positions anyway by deciding where they fit on the car backrest there. If they're higher or lower, you can move that. and to the degree with which, if I can get the light on there, the degree with how much air you put in there, and you can minimize and maximize it and make the seat back adjustment wider on here as well. So that was one of the paid options on these cars. Now another thing which you might see on these cars is this stalk on the top of the right on the steering here, and that is another option because you've got the three. You've got this thing which is a dual control for your lights and your windscreen wipers and your indicators. Then there's the cruise control, the tiny little lever at the back there, which is the stubby one for the steering wheel position. So that one there on the top right is for the phone system in the car, which works through the command. And when you look at the phone there, it's a bit of an old brick. It's kind of nice to have it for nostalgia, but you know, I can't see that really catching back on. You can get a phone kit for these, but I looked into it. It's pretty expensive, to be honest, to adapt it, because it's all to do with this connection here. And I think in some ways it's probably either better to upgrade the command system and to replace all of this. This is the first series. They did the facelifted version in 2003, which has a bigger command system, which works off of a DVD instead of a CD. But you can upgrade these to take Bluetooth, but it might be easier just to put a cassette thing in there to do Bluetooth if you don't want to mess around with this, or just upgrade the system. But it is fiber optic on all the speakers and everything, so it would mean changing that and changing all the wiring to the speakers as well. So there's a bit of work involved with that. I guess it's just one of the things about having an older car. The technology at the time was good, but like all of these things, when it comes to updating, it's a different story. So back to the phone. There it is. I've never used it. I could put my SIM card in there, maybe, but I don't think I'd want to. And obviously with Bluetooth, you wouldn't need this system to, talk to you through the car anyway. So there's more efficient methods these days. Parking sensors on these were standard, and so was the sunroof, which is a one touch. So you can do that or push it like that. When the ignition's on, it will just pop up, or just slide back and it will take that with it as it goes. So that's a standard thing on these cars. And the parking sensor for the rear is up there, so you can see it when you look in the rear view mirror. The soft close feature is standard on all these cars. I still haven't got around to replacing my rear window module, but if you do the gentle little push, then it will just close the door and the windows seal themselves. The window rubbers on this still need sorting out, because this one should drop down a little bit to allow that one to push in, and then this one comes up and seals it. So I need to get that module looked at. And there is a remote on the key and on the door pack for the boot, and that's soft close. Some of the cars had also a button here which is to shut the boot, so you push it and then quickly get your hand out of the way and it shuts down, and they've all got the soft close on there. One of the other features on these is the rear blind, which works for the rear window. So if I push the button, and you see that pops up, and then I just drop it down. And yeah, it's quite useful when it's hot and sunny, if you want to keep a bit of heat out of the back of the car, if you're parked up somewhere, if you've got your kids in the back or whatever. And one more option is the headrests. Now on the CL600 it was standard to be able to drop them down and lift them back up. On the 500s that was an option. This one you can just drop them down out of the way. So if you're looking in the mirror there and the headrests are up, you pop the button down on the dash and it folds those back down like that, and then you can see where you're going. But with parking sensors and mirrors all around, I guess if you're having trouble reversing, maybe that's the time to get a chauffeur. Howdy neighbour. Okay, so that's a few of the optional extras on the car. Like I said at the beginning, if you're looking for one of these, then you know, maybe that'll help you differentiate between what the standard options would have been and what these extras are. So if someone's trying to tell you this car, you know, they're selling you super spec'd up and it's got all this stuff, and you know it's standard, then you know, maybe that'll give you some bargaining points if they're trying to be clever with pricing. And as always, if you've got any questions or anything regarding anything about the car, or you're interested in you know, what it's like to run, please get in touch, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already and you're into this kind of stuff, please subscribe. Cheers for now, all the best.